Unsplash. Sorry it has been such a long time since I've been on the channel. I had a lot of things happen in my personal life that I just needed to take some time to pause and handle. Like getting this dust off my tablecloth over here. And no, I had a lot of other stuff happen, and it's definitely a big time of change and transformation. So we're going through an eclipse portal. We're going through all kinds of stuff. I brought in this new deck of Tarot of the Divine, and it's really beautiful. Lots of folk tales and fairy stories and everything in here. It's wanting me to tell you to get very grounded, and in fact it's pointing out to me how freaking cold my feet are right now, and wants me to definitely warm them up. Wow, how interesting, Cancer. It's just bringing up the fact, like, did you know that you have chakras in your feet? And that your feet being cold is can be a sign of kind of like that energy not being completely balanced. And so that might be something you need to think about. It wants me to just tell you that. My feet are cold because I have a thyroid issue, and I have an underactive thyroid that I take medicine for. And one of the main symptoms that I have besides sleep issues is being constantly cold. So some of you guys, I don't know why it's wanting me to bring this all up. Some of you guys might need to go have your thyroid checked out, or maybe there's some other kind of imbalances and things that you're noticing. Let's get started. It just said 2. 2 for Cancer. Okay. Very nice. Ace of Wands coming out the gate, and a King of Swords. It just said that this is like the model that you're about to paint off of. Like as if this was a statue or a little figurine or a person that was standing in front of you, and you're like an artist, and now you have to draw that or paint that on the paper, right? So what it's saying is like there's definitely and this is King of Swords, so this could be a real person, of course, an air sign. Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. However, it could also just simply be a very strong idea that is fully developed in your mind, and you're ready to start creating it. And you got the fire and the passion for it. And it looks like you've definitely got all the details. Like, look at how detailed all of the feathers are. Like, it's like you've literally gotten all of this mapped out in your mind. And you're ready to make it real. You're ready to make it happen. You're ready to add fuel to the fire of whatever this is. A King of Swords is also someone who is a good communicator when the card is in the upright. A good communicator. Can make very swift decisions, a good decision maker, right? And that's where it's like you got the fuel for the fire. So this is a decision or a person or something along those lines that you very, very, very much have mapped out all the details of, and now you're ready to not copy it. It's just you're ready to, like I keep saying, bring it to life, put it down on paper, draw it out. This is a calligraphy pen, a little bamboo ink brush and everything from like Chinese or Japanese paintings and calligraphy. And it's wanting me to mention how their letters and words are therefore referred to as characters. And it's very much an art form, doing calligraphy and painting, and there's techniques to this, right? But then they call them characters, and it's like you're literally bringing a character to life on the paper. There's very much this need to like just paint and flow and kind of like let your soul out there, Cancer, in this beautiful way, because you've spent a lot of time, I think, developing whatever this King of Swords represents for you, and now it's like it's finally time to start creating. What else is coming out? Really? All right. You got a lot of cards, Cancer. What's this one kind of like over here? I heard when I was laying these cards out, the Drake song started from the bottom, now we're here. So I mean, it's like you spent so much time making all these details, and now you're here at the beginning, you're ready to start creating. Whew, that tower got to come down though. Big changes. Oh, it's saying that this already came down. It's saying this already came down. That this was the shift you needed. And if you don't feel like that's resonating for you, then I'd say here it is. Like, right? Like, definitely a shift moving for you. Some structures had to come down. Some old ways had to come down and get out of the way so that you could prepare and get ready for everything else. It's like this is the fire out of that tower. And that's what I mean. It's like you stole the fire of this destruction and used it as fuel to get you to this point. Is one thing that it's kind of pointing out to me. So I do feel like for most of you, this is a past tower. Past. And justice was served. Hard decisions were made and some cuts were made, and justice is very neutral. It's not about your emotions. It's about the balance of things and what's right and what's wrong and what makes sense and what does not. And that was why this tower is in the past. This has already been cut out and gone. The justice was served, and therefore it cleared the way for everything else that's kind of in here. It's like that tower coming down was the justice you needed to help clear that path. Major arcana is coming through right here. So this was something major for you. Like it was right and victorious in the end, but it was it's a dark night of the soul. Like it was very hard to come through all of this, right? And that's why it was saying about the fire. It's like you had to therefore take the fire out of this situation and use it to create something, because that's the only way you could really reap and salvage anything out of this experience. This Two of Swords. It still kind of blocked your path though, because where justice cuts, it doesn't always feel fair for us, right? And it can still block us, and that's where you've had to really go within and meditate. Look at all these swords popping up. That's what I mean. I'm saying you've been thinking about this for a long time. You have evolved into this King of Swords, I believe, through whatever is down here, because the tower fell, the justice came through. It did strengthen you, but you still had some things to face, and you were still dealing with some stuff. You were still harnessing some energy. You weren't quite ready to make these moves and these changes and everything yet. Still making up your mind. Where justice came through with its sword, you've still got your own swords. Its decision came, the universal decision came through, and you still got your own decisions to make, right? And so that's where you've been still a little stuck and facing some things within yourself. But very resolute and focused about it, right? Trying to stay really calm and balanced and even here. Not trying to go back to this energy. Definitely not trying to go back to this energy. Trying to just sort yourself out and deal with any new little fires and monsters that flare up, right? Three of Cups is always a positive card, and it's saying like getting in touch with the feminine, so your feelings and emotions, celebrations, happiness, just joyful little get-togethers. Like there was some of that had to happen too. You had to conspire with some people. You had to get together with some people and exchange ideas and lighten up a little bit, because this pocket over here is for sure a heavier end of your reading. And that's what I mean. It's like you had to bust through some stuff right here. And at one point, you might have even been like, y'all, what do you think about this? Like it's kind of like showing me just like a girl's day. Like one day, it's like, girls, what do y'all think about this? This is what happened. Here's where I'm at. What do you guys think? And so there was a little bit of that sorting that came through. And when three minds come together, that's where it was saying like three minds think alike. Look at these beautiful crowns. If you haven't already spoken to friends or people about maybe kind of what some of this was for you, then I would definitely say great minds think alike. Get together with your friends, get together with like-minded people, and see what they have to say. Not only will it be nice to get other people's advice, but it will also just give you a chance for some refreshing, relaxing energy that is much more lighthearted than all of this, right? And sometimes you need that. It's not that you're running away from this energy. It's just that you've got to have the balance, right? And so there's some lighthearted energy. It's just like where this Two of Swords is at, and there's the Justice with the hard, heavy, hitting energy, and then there's the Three of Cups. What choice do you want to make right now? Well, maybe you've already been through this heavy, hard-hitting energy, and you don't want to go through that again right now, at least. So, but you're still kind of debating on it. And so that's where it's like, girls, what y'all think? What do y'all think? And that's a really nice, pleasant energy to have over here. And it just said that they are advising you, like, don't go back to the sadness, right? Don't go back into this. This is La Llorona, and this particular kind of like sad little tale. Her husband leaves her for another woman, and she is just so racked with sadness that she drowns herself, and she's very much a ghost figure that haunts people and can kill them too. Like, that's kind of like the actual ghost story and everything, and that's the thing, she like drowns them and everything, and because she was drowning in her own tears, and she wants everyone else to drown in that with her. And that's where it's like, please don't go back to this, and don't drag your friends into that either, right? Let's step away from this. That's what your friends are here for. They're trying to get you out of any of this energy. And they're like, let's just have fun, and let's just like be lighthearted and stuff for a while, right? Like, let's just kind of do some of this. And Cancer, you might really need that, because this watery card right here, Cancer can be certainly very sensitive and emotional. And so whatever kind of happened in the past and whatever's been making you sad, it's like it's all coming back to the center in your reading. It's like all coming back to center, like come back to center, right? Come back to center. And that's what your friends are like, come on, girl, come over here, let's hang out. Forget about that. Don't worry about this right now. Let's focus, right? That Three of Wands. Climbing that ladder. I wish I knew what this fairy tale was. I'll have to look it up here in just a second. This ladder is made out of bones, and that's what I mean. It's like, this is a ladder made out of things that are dead and gone and conquered and buried, and you just need to climb that ladder to get to the top. This little castle in the background over here with kind of this clock tower on it is interesting. I am going to look up this little fairy tale real quick and just see what it says. Where's the wands? There they are. Three of Wands, the Enchanted Pig. It's a Romanian fairy tale. The Three of Wands represents hard work and travel. The princess takes a long journey to rescue her prince, making sacrifices and surviving trials along the way. If she stays motivated, her efforts will be rewarded. Self-motivation, freedom, reward, and romance. So this Three of Wands reads a little bit differently than most decks, but definitely, because a Three of Wands is usually about kind of like waiting for your ships to come in. This Three of Wands is not about waiting for your ships to come in. This is believing that your ship has already docked and you got to go for it, right? Her prince is over there, wherever he's at the top of this ladder, and she's got to go save him. And Cancer wants to say, like, you're also your own prince, right? So it's saying, like, maybe there's a part of yourself, there's something that you believe in, and you have to climb that ladder to go get it, because it's basically saying that it's there. It's not that Three of Wands of a traditional deck where you're waiting on your ships to come to you. This is you going to get it. In fact, let me find it here in my more traditional deck so you can see the comparison. Am I crazy? Did I pass it? Did I pass it? See, and that's what, I'm like, did I pass it? And that's where it's like, keep climbing the ladder. You haven't passed it. You didn't bypass it at all. You still climbing. Hang on. There it is. This Three of Wands. And you see there's like little boats out there in the oceans, and he's literally standing on the cliff waiting. She is not waiting over here. She is climbing that ladder. She is going to go get what is coming to her. And she knows that that prince is coming to her. And that's the whole thing, is she's just going to go after it. And she has to stay resilient, because doubts and fears and sadness and loneliness will totally distract you and keep you circling back around. And like I was saying, like, this is very dark over here. This is very heavy and cutting over here. It's like, come back to center. Make a decision. Maybe have some like-minded people give you their opinion, but at the same time, just maybe stay lighthearted in general and kind of let this fall off to the side for a little bit. But you're definitely still in pursuit of something. It was something that maybe has made you very sad, and that's what pushes you on to keep climbing, because you don't feel like this sadness is the end of it. You feel like you're not going to get stuck in this cycle. You feel like you're going to climb out of that if you keep going. You know that this prince or this treasure or whatever is waiting at the top of this ladder, and you're just pushing. But y'all, it's heavy work, right? It's heavy. It's heavy work. Yeah. It feels like something big happened and the universe cut in to help cut it away for you for a while. Because maybe you didn't need it, and maybe you had some things to sort out. And there's that water energy floating around back here. And that's where it's like you were really, maybe you were previously climbing the ladder, and maybe that's the thing, maybe you got kicked off the tower or something, and it sent you into this sadness. And maybe you didn't want to accept what the universe gave you too, Cancer, you know? And now that's a whole different lesson, and so you need to consider that. What was the universe trying to tell you and everything? And maybe you're like, no, like, you know what? Like, I know this is for me. And there is a little bit of this sense of maybe pushing back against the universe, and you're like, I know this is for me. I know that it made me really sad, and I know that I went through all of this stuff, and I know that, you know, this energy is here, but I'm not turning my back on it. This is what I know I deserve, and I'm going to go get it. And that's what I mean. All of that experience gave you the fire to create what you want to create in your life and have it manifest for yourself. You have thought very long and hard about this decision, and it feels like that's the whole thing. It's like this ladder could be climbing that tower to come rescue Rapunzel. Maybe the whole tower didn't fall before, and you know that there's still something up there worth saving, right? There is a bit of this looping energy, and that's what you need to be careful to not get into, Cancer. You need to make sure that you're not just gonna run back through all of this again, right? You need to make sure that you for sure are learning the lessons, that you reap the fire from that, and use it as fuel to create something that truly represents some strength. And you have learned a lot of that. You've strengthened a lot of your mind, a lot of your communications, a lot of your decision-making aspects of yourself, and you're ready. What's the final word from Spirit? Yeah, that wish fulfillment, that Nine of Cups. My right elbow popped when I turned that over too. It's saying it's very possible, but this Nine of Cups, this story, this is actually a prince, or not a prince, maybe it's a prince, I don't know. It's a man who wanted the attention of this woman. He wanted her love, and she was not receptive to him as when he came and approached her as a man. And so then he goes back and tries again because he really, really wants her. She is his wish. That's what he really wants. And he dresses up as a woman instead and kind of has to deceive her a little bit in that regard to get her to open up and accept him for who he is. And then, of course, he reveals himself, and there you go. Taj al-Muluk and the Princess Dunya. The Nine of Cups represents a happy ending achieved in unexpected ways. Prince Taj al-Muluk fell in love with Princess Dunya, but she refused men. He used trickery, disguising himself as a woman in order to win her heart. Dreams realized, fulfillment, pleasure, recognition, and triumph. You can definitely achieve this, whatever you're trying to create, whatever you're trying to do for yourself. You might have to transform and disguise yourself a little bit to at first get things going, to get that wish fulfilled. But you know underneath exactly what you're doing because you're this King of Swords. You've made up your mind. You know you're going to achieve this. You've got the fire to achieve it. There's that Ace of Wands. There's the fire for it. Go get it. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to fulfill your own wish. How are you going to do that? You might have to shift and you might have to shape shift and transform a little bit, but you can make it happen. You can totally make it happen. And that's the whole message that's coming through, is like where the universe maybe had to reset your path for a while. It might not have necessarily been so that you can just completely walk away and just be done with things. It's like there was a journey here. You had to learn a lot of stuff through here, and you have built that perseverance. You're going after it, climbing back up to the top. What's up here at the top? All this stuff. What's the final word from Spirit? You can fulfill your own wishes and make it happen. You just might have to be willing to change your outfit in a way, right? Just for a little while until you can get in the door. And that's just the power of transformation. That's a whole nother lesson to learn in that way. So that's what I got for you, Cancer. Let me know what you think. Leave me some comments if you feel like it. And I hope everyone has a happy holiday. Hopefully I'll be back soon. And I will talk to you guys then. Thank you.